Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness. And today's video for Thrive Online is in direct response to a question that came up recently on our social media. I had the pleasure of practicing with my teacher out in California back in early May, and I was practicing next to this super sweet new friend of mine. And we took a break and we started working on different poses. And I gave her a cue that my teacher, my late teacher Donna, used to tell us to do in our transitions from Chaturanga to upward facing dog. Basically, that when most people transition, they either pick up one foot or the other, or when they push their feet out to come to the tops of their feet, if they even come to the tops of their feet, their ankles splay out. So what happens when you do that is you lose a lot of integrity from your core. And for me, especially like postpartum, all that kind of stuff, I need as much integrity in the core as absolutely possible. And I have a feeling there's a lot of people that are like me in that regard. So I wanted, it came up in our Facebook post and a social media post, and somebody said, what is this cue? What is this cue? So without further ado, here is some things to think about when you are transitioning from Chaturanga to upward facing dog, or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So remember, with your Chaturangas, I have friends on my mat with me. It's awesome. When you're in your Chaturanga, you want to make sure your elbows stay in, your hands are directly underneath the elbows, which means you have to push yourself forward a lot. And when you push yourself forward a lot, that aids in the transition from being on the toes to the top of the feet. So the first thing I want to cover is in Chaturanga, you are not on your toes. Yeah, well, you are on your toes. In upward facing dog, really, rather, this is not upward facing dog where my toes are down. Upward facing dog, your toes are on the mat flat and your chest is up, your quads are off the mat. So how do you get from this position to this position without picking up and lowering those feet just like I did? Let's do it. You're going to come a high plank, push yourself forward. Do you see how I went from being on the balls of my feet to the tippy toes, come down to Chaturanga? Push those toes back, coming up to the tops of the feet, upward facing dog. But this is what you don't want to do. For those of you that are rolling over to the tops of the feet, this is what happens a lot. Because it's easier, I don't know if you can see, let me demonstrate it again. It's easier as you push yourself forward and come down to let the ankles splay. Can you see how my ankles are coming out to the side? It gets really pronounced sometimes, almost like this. If you can see the ankles out to the side so much, that totally disengages the abs. But if you focus on keeping your ankles and your feet straight back, excuse me, you'll see that helps to engage the long line of energy all the way up your core. And guess what? There's actually a nerve at the bottom of your feet. You'll learn about it if you ever join us in our pelvic floor workshop that helps to really fire up the pelvic floor, those lower abdominal muscles, which are super important for all bodies. Okay, so this is a really great exercise to help engage the low abs and even fire up the pelvic floor. So here we are in plank, and we want to do our Chaturanga. So you push yourself forward a lot. Lower down, elbows on top of wrist. Push the toes back. Hold the ankles in and together. So if you notice, my heels are still reaching forward. Then you roll over to the tops of the feet. I'll do it one more time. Inhaling here to high plank. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga. Push your toes back. Hold the ankles in, pushing yourself up, upward facing dog. Rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. So basically, the secret cue here is hold your ankles in. If you're a teacher, if you're a yoga teacher and you're trying to demonstrate this for a student or assist this in a student, you actually come behind them, and as their ankles start to splay out to the side, you gently try to guide their ankles together, holding their heels more in place. Let me tell you, it will rock your Chaturanga upward facing dog world if this is not something that you normally practice in your day-to-day transitions between poses. It's awesome. It'll really help you target those abs, and it also helps to get your hip flexors and glutes and everything and quads a little bit more engaged as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you learned something new. Y'all have a great one, and I can't wait to see you again online. My name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Online. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.